Alright, shalom. First, I'd like to say all praise to Abba Shema Shai and double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and the rest of the brothers out there doing the truth sincerity. Now, this is from the Huffington Post. It says, in a flashback to the Cold War days, Pentagon announces plan to deploy troops along Russian border. Now, us in GMS and the brothers that's out there know that this is basically biblical prophecy, man, of the Battle of Armageddon. One of the last and major prophecies. Okay. Uh, it says, as tensions continue to escalate between Russia and the West, the Pentagon has announced plans to deploy U.S. troops armed with modern equipment and heavy artillery full time along NATO's eastern borders. It says the so-called European Reassurance Initiative, that's the name of it, will be the first such deployment since the Cold War ended. The Wall Street Journal reported its purpose to deter Russian aggression while serving to reassure Western allies of U.S. commitment to the region. It says General Philip Breedlove, the top U.S. commander in Europe, announces the plan. It says announces the plan on Wednesday, calling it a strong and balanced approach to reassuring our NATO allies and partners in the wake of an aggressive Russian in Eastern Europe and elsewhere. So they mounting up to come against Russia. It says our allies and partners will see more capability. He said in a statement they will see a more frequent presence of an armored brigade with more modernized equipment in their countries. Right. So they getting themselves ready for this battle against Russia. It says it's the European Reassurance Initiative increased presence, built the capacity of allies and partners, improve infrastructure, enhance repositioning, conduct bilateral and multilateral exercises and training. It says the new proposal will put an additional U.S. armored brigade in Europe, specifically along NATO's eastern flank. The brigade, which typically comprises about 4,200 soldiers and hundreds of heavy vehicles, tank, and other equipment, will rotate in on a continual basis and will be divided across 6 countries: Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, Poland, Romania, and Bulgaria. Those are other allies of NATO. That's right on the eastern side of Russia. It's going to show you. It says a Lieutenant General Ben Hodges, the commander of U.S. Army Europe, said the proposal will create a constant presence of U.S. forces along NATO's eastern border. There will be American equipment and people in each of these countries. Hodges told the Journal, we will have the flexibility to converge the entire brigade for exercises, and that is an important part of the deterrence to show a war fighting capability. Right, so they basically threatening Russia. That's why Russia always coming up with they're threatening our sovereignty and so on and so forth. You see Estonia, Slovakia. You see right up in here. This is where it's gonna be at. Poland. And they started doing this since they kicked off this little thing that happened up in Ukraine when they first started going at it. When the Crimea was next to Russia. Alright, it says slated Slovakia. Slated to start in February 2017, the plan will increase the number of U.S. combat brigades in Europe to 3. Currently, there are approximately 62,000 U.S. military forces, including a reported 25,000 armed Army soldiers permanently based in the continent. Right, so they really already over that, man. They just spreading them out a little bit more, getting ready for this battle. That's the Lord, man. It says, hold on, let me bring out this scripture, man. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, unto the day that I will rise up to the prey. Right, and that's up in the truth, man, up in GMS, and the brothers that's not in GMS that's in the truth know that we're not supposed to try to take up arms against this devil, man. It says, until the day that I rise up to the prey, we're supposed to wait on Yahushua. For my determination, right, the Lord is determined to do something. It's to gather the nations, and that's what he's doing. That I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. That's talking about thermonuclear missiles, man. See, this war and these nations gathering right around Russia, not only around Russia and in the Middle East, is the determination of the Lord, because the Lord gonna hit them with thermonuclear missiles when the Third World War, kick all the way off, you know. It says, according to the Pentagon spokeswoman, Laura Seal, the proposal will also allow for the U.S. to bring in more advanced equipment to Eastern Europe. This will be the most modernized equipment the Army has to offer and will, over the next year, replace the less modern training equipment we put in Europe over the last few years. Now, modern day equipment, man, new missiles, they coming out with more technology on using robots and shit, man. It says the new gear will reportedly include 250 tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles, Paladin self-propelled hot switzers, and more than 1,700 additional wheel vehicles. Right, now this is all the Lord's determination, man. The Lord getting them ready for this battle, man. It's gonna be a good fight. This next scripture is Joel chapter 3, verse 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. That's what they doing. And gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Right, because when this battle Jehoshaphat kick off to that point where they finish shooting nuclear missiles, man, the Lord's angels is going to be right there in the midst also. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow. For their wickedness is great. And that's the Lord talking about America, man. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. And that's talking about in the Middle East. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Okay, yeah, that was the end of that point. Just the nations assembling themselves, man, because it's time for their destruction. Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. The Medes is talking about Russia, because Russia not going to stand for America and NATO putting them troops around their eastern border, man. Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, right? Because as this starts to get worse and worse, America gonna try to cop plea, but Russia not having that. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. Now that bows is parabolic speaking. It's talking about the nuclear missiles. Shall dash the young men into pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, the young kids. Their eyes shall not spare children, right? So when these nuclear missiles get shot off, man, whoever's in the way of that country, that continent, or that mile radius where that nuclear missile hit, they're gonna be dust, turned to dust. It says in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty, Babylon is America, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And that's the judgment of America, man, because America think they can go around bullying everybody, putting Israel into slavery and shit, man. The Lord paying them back for this, right along with the rest of these nations, because all these nations had a part in this shit, man. This is Nahum. Nahum chapter 3. 3 verse 1, Slakia. It says, woe to the bloody city, which is America. It is full of lies and robbery. Right, the lies is taking the nationality of the children of Israel, and the robbery is keeping us over here in captivity. The prey departed not, and we didn't depart, man. I'm finna jump. We still over here in America in slavery. To 13, behold, the people in the midst of thee are women. That's talking about America's military. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thy enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. Right, and the gates is America. The gates basically is um, America's protection. America ain't gonna have no protection when that day come. When the nuclear missiles are shot off, them laser beams that they got up with the Star Wars program and stationed on certain bases out of space, they not gonna deter the missiles. All the missiles gonna hit America. Them so-called defense shields, all that shit ain't gonna work in the day to come, man. This scriptures, Zechariah 14. This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. And that's talking about the nations. Not only America gonna get nuclear missiles, man. It says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And only element that can do that is a thermonuclear blast, man. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Right. Right, and that's it for the lesson. All praise to Abba Shema Shai. Be looking out for these prophecies, man, because this Third World War is getting hotter. It's heating up. Shalom.